2, 1.
Hi, everyone. This is Craig Proctor, and welcome to the Craig Proctor Real Estate Show. Today, my special guest is Lutrell Kirk. He's in the northwest part of Indiana. He's one of our up-and-coming superstars. Hey, man, thanks for being with us today. Tell us a little bit about yourself and how you got involved with the Craig Proctor system.
Great. Well, thanks for having me, Craig. It's definitely a privilege to be with you on this. Being just a big nobody, I was in real estate, doing my best, working very hard, trying to generate business like most realtors, first year in real estate, cold calling to get all this business. And I worked my butt off. And for most real estate agents, they know selling 14 houses or something like that their first year back in that day, you got to put a lot of work in that. But I cold call for all my business is my point. And I needed a better way. And one of the broker owners of a company that I was with Remax at that time, had used your system. And they said, you should find this guy. You won't have to do all that cold calling. So I heard about you. There was a half-a-day conference. I believe.
Well, that guy's a smart guy.
Yes. It was a her, but yeah,
it was a her. Okay, good.
Yeah, she said check him out. But I went to see.
So you were basically like cold calling, door knocking. So you were working hard. I mean, you were.
Yes, sir.
You're trying to figure this business out. All right. So you probably started by coming to one of our conferences.
Exactly.
Okay. And so what was the big takeaway, the aha moment at the conference? Because you've done extremely well. Just to give everyone a heads up, how many transactions you think you and your team are going to do this year?
Well, I'm looking to touch 100 transactions.
100 transactions in a short period of time. That's awesome. Now, would you say you're working harder or working less than back in the days when you were cold calling and prospecting to do, a dozen transactions?
Definitely less.
Definitely. Yeah, and this is you can leverage this. I mean, you're making great progress. I'm so glad that you agreed to come on the Craig Proctor show here today, because I want people to get to know you. You're a good guy. You're enthusiastic. You wake up every day, but you've always been like that. But now you've got a system. Let's talk about the importance of, having a systematic way where you and your heart believe like you can leverage this, you can scale this, where, back in the day, you were working way harder, but it wasn't really scalable.
That's right. Just like you said, I was a one-man show doing everything myself. And I mean that literally, cold calling, doing the appointments. It was rough. It was hard. But with the system, I learned there was you spoke about the aha moment at the conference. Let me say that. So when I'm sitting there and I'm hearing you discuss how to not have to cold call to generate prospects, but there was a way to compel them to contact me, that was it. And then you walk through a benefits presentation, that instead of me winging it, I could show them, hey, this is what I do. And I could do this every time. And it was repeatable. Everything else you said, I probably missed, because I needed it. That was it. So yeah, the system, lead generation, all of that, lead conversion, client fulfillment, that's in this system. And that's what I love about it.
Now, you got to the point where you actually couldn't even follow up and work with all the buyers and sellers that were contacting you. So when did you start to grow your team?
The moment that I could not do all of the paperwork and help clients myself, I needed to, I looked through the team system manual that you have, and it was already documented. Hey, this is the person you need to hire, somebody who can do all the things that don't require a real estate license. And it freed up my time to help more clients. And then it just kind of took off from there.
What's your team look like today?
So now we have a team, instead of being just me, we have a team of about 9. I have a full-time transaction coordinator, implementation marketing assistant, some OSAs, sign guy, of course, and myself. And
so what do you spend your time on now that you've got are you working with any of the buyers or sellers at this point, or are they mostly all delegated?
At this point, I still work with sellers, and I'm training my team to help me carry that load. But my day is spent mostly training. It sounds funny, but you spend more time learning how to operate the business, how to scale it, how to grow it. But a lot of time is spent in marketing. And I still do a lot of contacting the prospects. So I still do a lot of the inside sales things, sort of like what you did. It's
exactly. I was going to say that's exactly what I did. Yep, that's exactly what I did. I continued to go out on listings, but I would be cherry picking, obviously the A leads, And I would be focused on marketing and recruiting and training and coaching and making those follow-up calls. I had inside sales agents, but I was involved in that the entire time. Those were like kind of the key rainmaker activities for me, which you found work. How many hours would you say you're working right now? What would be like a typical week?
Actually, I'm still probably putting in about 40 hours a week, Monday through Friday.
Well, hey, there's nothing wrong with that to do 100 transactions. But I think you can see the possibilities here that you can keep the sales volume going up.
Yes.
At the same time, you're going to be able to, back off your hours and, have this thing really work on its own. And behind you, everyone can see it says your home sold, guaranteed realty. Our name is our promise. So you've licensed one of our brokerages. You're creating a sellable asset. You're building something for you, which is something most real estate agents, don't have. Most agents, they think they have a business, but really they just have a job, and they work for, 10 or 15 or 20 years in this business, and they just get tired and leave, right? They don't have anything to sell. So, you're building a real business that eventually will not depend on you. You can scale this thing up, and someday, you've got something to sell if you want to. Talk to me about your vision over the next year or so. And I want to know what drives you, right? Because you've got this spark in you that not every realtor has. Like, I remember the first time I met you, you kind of can tell, when people are sitting in the front row and they're smiling and they're enthusiastic, like you kind of got this right away. Where do you want to take this?
It's funny. I hear some of the members in the group, and I've seen what they've done. And sometimes, honestly, Craig, I don't know how far I can take it. Meaning, I look at the top members and I see what they've done, and that lets me know that's doable. But for me, within the next year, I like to, if we get to 100 families served this year, I like to at least double that next year. And what drives me, it might sound corny, but I really don't compete with other people. There's something in me. I'm striving to be the best that I can be. And this system, it sounds crazy, but this is something that can allow me to use every skill set. As long as I remain teachable, coachable, willing to learn, I can acquire all the skills that I need to be the best me that I can be. So if we're in the Olympics, Craig, and we're racing and we're competing, if I finish first and people come up with the microphone and say, hey, you got first, I'm going to be out of breath, but I'm going to say, what was my time?
Right.
And they're going to say, what? I'm like, because I'm trying to just be better than I was yesterday. And this system, it allows me to do it. That's what I like about it.
Okay. This competing with yourself idea and being the best version of you. A lot of people think, well, people get into real estate and they do it just to make money. But I want everyone to understand it's much more than that, because the Craig Proctor members that are at the very top, they have all the money they need. It's not about, in the beginning, when you don't have any money, I get it. It's about money. But I want everyone to think about, what if there's more to this? What if there's like getting up every day and it's not just about meeting your financial needs or about stuff you can buy, but actually, just playing a game that's worth playing every day. That's really the level that our members are at. Now, we're all going to be gathering in a week today in Orlando, Florida. Okay. The Craig Proctor members from all over the world. Yes, we have some coming from England, from Canada, all over the United States. They're going to be congregating in Orlando, Florida, 1 week from today, July 28th through the 30th. There'll be hundreds and hundreds there. And the reason we meet, a couple of reasons. Obviously, things have changed a lot in the economy, but things are always changing. And our job is to bring to real estate agents, not unproven ideas, but you're going to be hearing from agents that are making millions of dollars doing what they do. Now, Lutrell, you're going to be one of those speakers, and your session is going to be about how to get paid more, how to increase, first of all, I guess, the value in your own mind of what you're worth.
That's right.
We battle in real estate. We battle obscurity. Many realtors, have this commodity mentality where they believe that the marketplace sets their fee, or the discounter around the corner sets their fee. Tell us a little bit about what you're going to be sharing next week in Orlando.
Okay. Well, what I've learned from this system coming into those are one of the things that blew my mind. That was one of the things that blew my mind. You've taught us there are 3 ways to pretty much grow your business: increase the number of people you help by increasing the number of transactions, or increasing the amount per transaction, or increasing the amount of repeat and referral business. I mean, how many when people come back. But that second one, that's something that we can change almost automatically by implementing things in your system. But like you said, it's not just increasing a fee. First, you have to build more value. It's like you have to create processes and systems that add more value to a person's life as being one of your clients, as opposed to them working with someone else. Once you create that, now you become exclusive with that. And now, because of that, the marketplace of clients, they're willing to pay a little bit more for that service because it's a superior service, if that makes sense. So I'll be talking about the things that we learned in your system on how to add value with the systems, the people, the processes that you have, so it's worth more to a client. Price is only the objection in the absence of value. And we've learned that, and that's what we're going to be talking about.
Now, did you always believe that, or is this sort of a new mindset?
No, it was a paradigm shift.
Yeah.
It was definitely because we're taught as real estate agents to do what everybody else is doing, and whatever the other agent who represents the other party is offering you, that's what you're worth. And deep down inside, well, I do a lot more for my client than what you're willing to offer me. So when I started to hear these type of things, it makes sense, but we don't hear these things when we're amongst the crowd in our different marketplaces. But when we come to sit into a conference and we learn this, your mind opens up. And once you hear it, you can't unhear it.
I like that. Once you hear it, yeah, that's why you want to get to our conferences, folks. Really, what's going to happen in Orlando? For those of you that are coming for the very first time, and again, it's not too late to register. You can go to craigproctorseminar.com. We've got a very comprehensive website with the agenda, the speakers, exactly what you're going to learn. We even have a 100% judge and leave money back guarantee. If you don't like it, we'll just give your money back. It's a small investment to hang out with superstars that are doing the thing that you want to do.
That's right.
The commission thing is something that realtors, it's kind of weird because initially sometimes they fight us on this, and they'll say things like, well, you don't understand, your market must be, my market's different. What you're doing would never work in my marketplace, right? You're in rural Indiana, right? You said I'm in the middle of cornfields here in Northwest Indiana. I'm in the big city. It would never fly here. A lot of realtors think that their unique individual situation is so different. But when you're meeting with thousands of realtors that are successfully doing what we're talking about, I think it really helps remove any skepticism that you have.
Absolutely.
Think about that. If you're meeting in hearing directly from agents making $1 million a year that are specifically doing these things, nothing gets lost in translation. Unlike other training, we're not talking about rumors or what we heard from somebody else or what we read in a book. You're hearing directly from agents that are experts at these different topics. We cover everything over 3 days. I mean, really, it is a life-changing. I mean, that sounds dramatic. It's a life-changing experience if you're serious about your real estate business. Now, I get that not everybody is, and if you're watching this right now, I assume you're serious. Or maybe a better question is when are you ready to get serious about your real estate business? The economy is changing. Our approaches are going to need to change. That's what you're going to learn when you get to Orlando. How many of these conferences you've been through now?
I think we normally meet 4 times a year. I think once a quarter is what it feels like. So I would say maybe 20. I think I've only missed, maybe 20.
Right. So
Don't miss
people might look at that and go, well, why do you need to go to this one in Orlando? You already been to 20 of them, right?
They're all different.
They're all different. And the market's changing. The approaches are changing. You take away just one idea. If you just took away just one idea, you're going to get a huge return on your investment and your time. And we do realize that people are investing, 3 hours or 3 days of their time and with their airfare or whatever to get there. So it's an investment, and we want to make sure everyone gets a massive return. That's why we give everyone a guarantee. If you're not blown away, if you don't think this is the best training you've ever attended, we just refund all your money. Hey, hanging around with people that think like you, you're having different conversations than you've ever had before. And what happens is you started to think thoughts that you were never thinking before.
That's correct.
It all starts with the paradigm, right? It all starts with, like at first, you're exposed to things you've never heard of before. And you might be thinking the same thing. Well, maybe that's something I can't do, or they're different or whatever. But you start to meet so many of our superstars that are doing it. And, you become friendly with them, right? You go to lunch with them, you go out to dinner. Sometimes it's just, having a drink at the bar at the end of the day, but you realize that all the problems that you've had and all the problems you're going to have, they've already done it. Pretty comforting to know that, everything I want to do, all the issues I'm going to have, I have friends now inside Craig Proctor world that have been there before. They're struggling with the same issues. So that's really, the first part of this process is to get everyone together, to start having conversations that they haven't had before, to start thinking thoughts that, meeting people that they've never met that will be a game changer in your career. And until you've been to one of the conferences, it's hard to really imagine what I'm talking about. But your experience of being to like 20 of these is not uncommon. In other words, just a warning to everybody watching, if you've never been to one and you do come to one, you're going to keep coming back. That's how good they are. They're just going to keep coming back over and over again. What I like to do at the start of every conference is kind of fun. I'll say, everyone that's been with Craig Proctor for 5 years or longer, raise your hand. Then everyone that's been with Craig Proctor for 10 years or more, raise your hand. And it's amazing how many people in the room have been with us for 5 or 10 or 15 years. That's why I do this, right? What I'm looking to do is to create lifelong relationships, with real estate agents, so that we're not just impacting them for a weekend, but we're truly making a difference in their real estate business and their lives. Think of how many people that you've been able to help. It's not just the guy in the mirror. You've been able to help your entire team, all those clients in Northwest Indiana. You've saved them from having an average or below average experience with another realtor. This competitive drive that you have, did you always have it, like since you were a kid?
I would say yes. Yes. But what happens, what we've learned, and you bring it out often, is you become the sum of the 4 or 5 people you hang around with most. So like you're saying, coming to the conferences. So as a kid, you have this, right? And then something happens, you get with the wrong group. Maybe not everybody, but you get with the wrong group, and that can kind of dwindle away because you tend to blend in. It's like the smartest kid in the class sometimes doesn't want to be the smartest kid in the class because of peer pressure. But what happens is somewhere along the line, I lost that. But then something happened to me and it brought it back. So when I was seeking to be my best and real estate was my career choice, I had to find a system that did it. So in coming to the conference, when I say it was a spark, it was like, this is the missing puzzle piece that I need. And so with that, it helps me continue to use what I have.
Yeah, it's funny in life how you can meet one person or a couple of people that really truly change the direction of your life. And from what I can tell, you've always been a hardworking, good realtor. But had you not stumbled onto the right system, you might be still out there working as hard as you can, being a good guy, but not getting near the results.
That's right.
Right. So this will work for anybody that that steps forth and says, you know what, I'm coachable. I'm looking for a different and superior way to do business. let's talk about your ambitions as far as the team. So the first thing that you did is you realized I have to become my own marketing director. You got coached up on marketing and you started to get this overflow of business. And at first, like all of us, right, you tried to do it yourself and you tried and it kept coming in. And now, because you had so much business coming in, you had some leverage so you could recruit other agents. In other words, you could say to other agents in your marketplace, hey, I have what you need. I have ready to act buyers and sellers. If you come and you work with me, if you partner up with me, I will not even give you leads. I'll actually give you actual appointments. So think about that, real estate agents. If you're in Indiana and you're watching this right now, everything you want to do in real estate is being done right here. Okay. All you got to do is contact Lutrell Kirk and get coached up on this. Have a conversation about joining up with his team, because there is the leads. All of that stuff is taken care of by you, right? You're the one that's bringing in the business. The leads then go to your inside sales agents. The inside sales agents call the prospects, qualify them. So if you're an outside sales agent, you're basically just going from appointment to appointment to appointment. You're not wasting time taking pictures of houses or getting keys cut or putting signs up or down or any of that. Okay. The goal is, how can we make you as a realtor as productive as possible? Because everybody wants to make more and work less. Well, we've got this team structure set up so everybody wins. There's no reinvention. All you have to say is, I'm coachable. You step into this system, you get appointments on your day timer, and then we spend all kinds of time coaching you and training you, because the more money you make, the more money we make, right? So that's how the team concept works. I created this. I was the OG. I was the first real estate agent with a team going back 30 years ago. So even though this team concept may seem kind of new to some people or different, it's really not. We wrote a book on this many, many years ago. It's called, you can get it on Amazon. It's called The Death of the Traditional Real Estate Agent and the Rise of the Super Profitable Real Estate Team. And the premise in the book is there won't be solo agents at some point. You're either going to be on someone's team, right? Or you're going to start your own super profitable team. And so joining a team or creating your team is really what you got to think about. Do I want to create my own team, or would it be easier just to step into what's existed? That's a choice everyone's going to have to make as we go forward here. What advice would you give to realtors watching this right now, that kind of now you're on the other side? It's in no way am I saying like you're done at the end of your mission. You're kind of just beginning. You got this fire in your belly now, but you're on the other side of like where they are right now. Maybe they're cold calling and they're prospecting, and where were you a couple of years ago? What would you say to them?
I would say it's real, if that makes sense, because a lot of people think it's fluff or it's not possible, or maybe for someone else other than themselves. But it's, if a nobody like myself can hear these type of ideas and implement them, and I'm learning, we get application. That's when he's saying, being at the conferences, I get to rub shoulders and ask questions on the actual application of an idea or something that's working in the system. And that help is there. It's the people, they answer your questions. So if I were on the other side, I would say, show up. And then it's almost like the floor appears as you take the step. The puzzle pieces come together and it will be what you want it to be. Is there going to be work involved? Yes, but you're going to be working hard regardless. So you may as well work towards the goal that you want, using the system and the vehicle to get you there.
Hey, what you said just reminded me of something I like to say to realtors, which is, they'll say, well, maybe doing this will be hard. And I'll say, well, guess what? Being a real estate agent and only making $60,000 to $80,000 a year, that's hard.
Yes.
Correct. Learning how to make hundreds of thousands of dollars a year as a realtor is hard, but so is living on $60,000 to $80,000.
That's right.
That's hard too. So you got to pick your hard.
That's right.
Right. You got to pick your hard. If we agree that both are hard, living on 60 to 80 grand is hard, or making millions of dollars is hard. Pick your hard. And now you're actually working less. You're doing more. You can see that you can just keep scaling this out. You're going to be hiring more agents. You're going to be growing this thing out. How are you finding realtors right now to join your team?
Right now, we do send out different type of advertisements. So you'll see us on social media, and those ads we run, we're letting you know the type of income that you can earn with our team, but it's going out through social media. So you'll see things on Facebook. You might see them on Twitter, Instagram. You might see things even on LinkedIn, Google. You'll see those things. That's because it's almost like if someone's drowning in the ocean, it's something. You're drowning and someone throws you a lifeline, grab it. Because right now, like you said, if you're working hard and you're just barely staying afloat and someone throws you a lifeline, this is that lifeline. It was a game changer for me. And like you said, we're working really hard. The work-life balance is something we didn't touch on, but I was able to build my business using your system. And I am the guy that I didn't work Sundays, Monday nights, Wednesday nights, Friday nights, or Saturday mornings. And people will say, how in the world could you do that in real estate? Well, because I had other obligations that are very important to me in my personal life. This system allows you to do that. So these agents that are out there, I'm trying to reach out and throw the lifeline, say, hey, you're working hard and you're not getting the income that you need. If you can just respond to the advertisement and come and get the appointments, I have an abundance of them. There's not a problem. You'll do that and you'll see your life will change. You can have a good personal life and work-life balance.
Do you think when you're trying to recruit local agents, what's the barrier? Are they here's the thing that you and I know, they would all actually make more money and they would have more personal time if they would just join up with you, right? Yes. Like you and I know that, we believe it, it's 100% true. But what you're battling against is skepticism, where they're thinking, well, maybe that won't true. Or sometimes I hear this from realtors, well, if I join your team, I'll lose my independence. And it's absolutely the opposite. Isn't independence like having more time and more money and more freedom? Like that's what freedom's about. So, people should set their skepticism aside. It's healthy to question things, and we're not suggesting you believe everything on blind faith. But if you're watching this right now and you're in Northwest Indiana, you should just check it out. We'll put all Lutrell Kirk's contact information below this video. But you know who he is, right? You've been watching him, and you might be saying, like, where did this guy come from, or what drives him? You can just be part of the team, and it's something that's going to be good for you as well, and good for your family. That's the only reason this team concept we called it a team. It's not a concept anymore. It's the superior way to run a real estate operation. I mean, if we look outside of real estate, your doctor, he or she doesn't work alone. Your lawyer, he or she doesn't work alone. Your accountant has junior accountants. If you were to get on an airplane and you looked out the window on the tarmac and the pilot was gassing up the plane or throwing the luggage on, you probably wouldn't get on that plane. So, this is very structured. It's organized, so everybody wins. You don't have to worry about lead generation. You don't have to worry about paying for lead generation. All you have to do is go to set up appointments, go from appointment to appointment, and your team members get to control their agenda. If they want to take Saturdays off, they just book themselves off.
That's right. That's right. They can have a personal life. We look at your day timer, your calendar, whatever you want to call it. And if you're booked out because you have obligations or family things on every Thursday and every Saturday, that's fine. We won't book appointments for you. But the other days, we're booking appointments for you, as many as you can skillfully handle.
Okay, back to the upcoming 3-day training that we're doing a week today. Now, folks, you can watch this virtually, because I know some of you are like, okay, it's a week away. It's in Orlando, Florida. I got to jump on a plane and all that. It's better in person. Believe me, it is better in person, but I get it. We're a week out. You can watch it virtually. We have a virtual option. Okay. You go to craigproctorseminar.com. It's $495. That's the price. So what's that? $160 something a day. But you'll see in writing on the registration form, we have something called a judge and leave money back guarantee. It's simply that. Like we're not saying sign up and get your money back. We're saying sign up, register, and watch the 3 days. If you're not blown away, we'll just give you all your money back. It's $495. That's not going to make a big difference to me. It won't make a difference to you either. But what will make a difference is the tremendous change in your business. First of all, we start by changing your paradigm about real estate. That's really where we started, isn't it?
Yes.
You said, I think you said something about like, once you see it, you can't unsee it, or once you hear it, you can't unhear it. Here's the first thing I do at the conference. My goal is to get you to think quite differently about your real estate business. And we're going to call it a business, even though for many of you, you have a job. Basically what I'm going to do, here's the warning, is I'm going to kind of like pop your head off your shoulders, clean out all that old stuff, right? All those old paradigms, all the stuff you've been taught, right? And then we're going to gently put your head back on your body and then program you with better thoughts, better ideas. Like a very common thing when we get into real estate is we look around what everyone else is doing, figuring it's the way to do it. And we develop some really bad habits. The reason we start off with getting you to think a different way about the possibilities and potential in your future in real estate, if I can get you opened up and give you lots of examples and why my approach in real estate is really the best approach, if we can open up your paradigm, you will accept new and better ways of doing things, right? Because the paradigm, we all have the paradigm wants to hold us back, right? The paradigm right now is that little voice in your mind that's saying, well, the last thing I need is another real estate training, or why would I jump on a plane, or why would I invest 3 days even watching this virtually? Or maybe you think training and coaching is about motivation or accountability, or maybe you've had other coaching and training in the past and it didn't do anything for you. So the old paradigm goes down all the lists of why this won't work. Just like your topic is how to get paid more money. Man, I bet you if you and I were talking several years ago, you would have thought, oh, like that's not even possible. Like that's a crazy idea, right? Your paradigm was the marketplace dictates what I get paid. The listing agent dictates what I get paid, right? The discount broker around the corner, they dictate. Okay. And then your paradigm shift was, oh, wait a minute. I dictate.
That's right.
What I get paid.
That's right.
Yeah. So that's an example of a paradigm shift. So, look, I really want to thank you for coming on here today, because I want everyone to know who you are. Very proud of your success. Can't wait to see you in Orlando next week. It's going to be a great session. And remember, all of you can watch it virtually, or you can attend in person by going to craigproctorseminar.com. Now, again, we like in person, because there's a difference between just watching it and getting involved. There's a difference between walking up to our superstars and saying, hey, do you want to go to lunch? Or like, I'm sure you even get swarmed at the restroom, right? People will come up and want to pick your brain. There's a big, huge benefit to actually being at the live event. But I get it. We're a week out. We'd like to see you guys there one way or the other. But I want to thank you again for being here. Give us your contact information. If there's anyone out there that, especially if you're in northwestern Indiana, which is, you said, about an hour away from Chicago. That's where you're at?
Pretty much. Yes, sir.
What would you like to say to realtors in your marketplace? Like, why don't you just pick up the phone and call you?
Yeah, pick up the phone and call me. I love to help you grow your business, turn the job into a business. You can call me 219-281-8502. Again, 281-8502. You can email me. It's kirk@kirkandcompany.com. And that's KIRK@KIRKAND, and then spell out company.com. But again, call me or text me, 281-8502. I love to talk to you about it.
And all good things start with a conversation. That's really how we started, right? It starts with a good there's no downside to inquiring and checking it out. What do you got to lose, right? Nothing.
That's right.
Nothing. Also, if you're not in northwestern Indiana and you are interested in doing this in your marketplace, another option is you can set up a call with me as well. and with my team and I, the place to go is proctorcall.com, right? Simple. My name, proctorcall.com. And you'll see our acuity day timer. You can pick a day and a time that works for you. And let's book out an hour and we'll have a conversation about where you are in your business and where you want to go. And at the end of the hour call, you're either going to say, wow, this was really helpful. I understand Craig's approach. I think this would really help me. And you may want to work with us and we would love that. Or the opposite. You may say, you know what, this is not for me. And you can continue, doing whatever you're doing. But the call is free. So I hope that you've enjoyed our session here today. I'm really glad that we got to know each other better. And I do hope that some of you watching this will be touched by this and that you'll contact one of us to talk more about this, or you'll attend our upcoming conference. Again, it's craigproctorseminar.com. So we're going to wrap it up. Everyone, thanks again for watching. This is Real Estate Coach Craig Proctor.